Hi, I'm Tara Brown, and I'm an intuitive life coach. I want to talk to you today about your patterns and about a little part of your brain about the size of a walnut. We have patterns every day. We live them. That's how we react. It's how we see the world. And I want to start by talking about this word. It's homeostasis. So homeostasis is a Greek word that it means the same or constant. And our body and our brain crave this sameness because it feels safe to us. It's something that we know and that we've come to expect. And so it feels safe. And so our body and our brain create this routine of ways that we react in order to help us create that sameness. So, if we do things the same, if we say things the same, if we hang around the same people, then we feel that safety that we've created for ourselves. And on the other side of that, if we want to change something, it feels hard. It feels scary sometimes even. And actually our body can register change as physical pain. So sometimes we even feel like we're in pain when we're wanting to make a change. And it all starts with this little part in your brain. In the very back of your brain, right by the brainstem, there's this tiny little organ called your reticular activating system. It's about the size of a walnut, and its job is to filter. It's a filter for all the information that comes in a day. So there are too many bits of information in the world for us to process. There's too many colors, there's too many sounds, there's too many sights. And so our brain relies on our reticular activating system, or our RAS, to help us know what's important and the things that we need to do to pay attention to. And so the way that it finds out what's important to us is by listening to the stories that we tell ourselves. So I hope that you can immediately see that that is why the stories that we tell ourselves are so, so important. Because when you are filtering everything that you see, every conversation that you have, every interaction that you have, every place that you can drive down the road and look at, everything gets filtered through your RAS and through your stories. So if you're telling yourself a story about how you're not worth it, or how you're not enough, or how you're not going to make it, or how you don't have enough money, all of those things translate in your RAS into, oh, I have to go find evidence for her so that I can prove that this story is true. And so it goes out, and it's like a lens that we wear, like a pair of sunglasses that we wear, that we are able to see the world through. And so I hope that you can see that this can be dangerous, because if you're telling yourself stories that are not true, or that are hard or even mean to yourself, then you're going to go through life looking at the world from this way. And all of a sudden it turns into a situation where you're finding evidence of stuff that might not even be true. So what happens is our RAS helps us to find that homeostasis. It helps us to find that automatic pilot. And so in order to change it, what we have to do is we actually have to use intention. We have to really be aware. And so one of the first steps is to learn how to be aware of what's going on in your body. Because in order to change a pattern, we have to be aware of it. We have to be able to see it. And the first way to do that is to recognize when we have sensations come up. So I want to talk a little bit about how our patterns form. I live in Utah, and it's beautiful here. And in the winter, we have the greatest snow on earth, and it fills the mountains up, big crevices, deep ravines full of snow. And in the spring, it starts to get warm and everything starts to melt. And all of a sudden, there's just kind of water everywhere. And it finds these little well-worn paths where last year, this is how it melted, and it just goes down, and it makes a little tiny stream. And pretty soon there's a couple of streams, and they find each other. And then there's more strength in that. And they join together to make a little brook. And all of a sudden there's a creek, and it's a little bit bigger, and it's pushing a little bit more water, and it's moving rocks that are big. And pretty soon it flows into a river. And then the river eventually leads to the ocean. In the process, it can move a lot of dirt. It can move a lot of things because it wants to stay together and it wants to stay safe as it goes through this the riverbed and out into the ocean. But you can see how hard it is. I don't know if you've ever watched them try and redirect a river, or if you've ever tried to stop the flow of a wave in the ocean. It takes definite intention and it takes a definite plan to be able to do that. And the first thing that they have to do is they have to be aware of where the water's coming, where it's coming, how fast it's coming, how much water is coming. And this is how they change the flow of water. And this is the same thing you can do when you change your path. When you start to look at your pattern and you decide this pattern is not serving me, it is not helping me get where I want to go. In fact, it might even be stopping me from where I want to go. Then we have to go back and figure out, where did that come from? What does it feel like in my body? Where are the places that I'm finding evidence of this pattern? And how can I change that so that I can be more in charge, so that I don't have to live on automatic pilot anymore? So I love to talk about patterns, and that's what I'm going to be doing here. And I am so glad that you're part of our tribe of queens. Thanks. Have a great day.